Hello, and welcome to Japanese Craft Beer Reviews. Today, we're going to take a look at one of the three mainstay beers from the Spring Valley Brewery, which technically is not a craft beer brewery, but it's a crafty beer brewery. And what does that mean? Well, it's Spring Valley is attached to one of the largest beer companies. It's a division of Kirin Beer, one of the largest beer companies in Japan. And it is their so-called craft line. And so the definition of craft beer, has gone through a number of iterations, and it's still problematic, I think. A lot of people say, well, it's whether you're attached to a larger company, so you're not completely independent. And other people say, well, it's how much beer you make. Do you make less than this amount? And of course, that has shifted. It's kind of a line that they have moved, especially in the U.S., to keep Sierra Nevada, which is like number 5 in the U.S. or 6 or 5 or something like that. And so, it's kind of craft beer associations haven't really done their due diligence, I think, to provide a good definition. And do we really need one? I don't know. The whole word craft is kind of unclear these days. It's been attached to a lot of things. So not just craft beer, we have craft coffee, canned coffee, which is craft cola, things like that. So it's kind of a marketing term these days. In any case, back to Spring Valley. Spring Valley is the craft division of Kirin Beer Company. And first, a little bit of history. It was founded, technically Spring Valley was founded by a man named William Copeland in 1870. And he was actually from Norway and moved to the U.S. and apparently had studied brewing there, worked as a brewer there, and then changed his name to William Copeland. And in 1864, he came to Japan. This is not too long after Japan opened to the West. And he started his brewery in 1870 in the Yokohama area. And unfortunately, he was not a great businessman. And by 1885, he had to sell it to a group of Japanese businessmen. And they reopened it as Kirin Brewery in 1888. So, Spring Valley, the Spring Valley craft beer line actually started in, the idea came up in 2011, and in 2014 they put out their first beer, 2015, and it was Hojun 496, and that will be the first one I'll review. And in 2015 they opened a restaurant tap room in Yokohama, and also one in Daikanyama in Tokyo, and the Yokohama one has closed. It closed in March of this year, 2025. In 2017, they opened another one in Kyoto. In fact, they bought a very old building and remodeled it, and it's a kind of a flashy sort of restaurant and tap room for Kirin's beer, and especially Spring Valley beer, near Nishiki Market if you're in that area. In 2018, they did something else with their craft line. They opened what they call the Tap Marché project. And what is Tap Marché? Tap Marché it's kind of hard to explain, but I'll put a picture here. It is a very lightweight, portable sort of beer server, which can be easily installed in any restaurant or bar whatsoever, and supplied by Kirin. And they also supply of course, the beer to go along with it. And and this led to the spread of craft beer throughout Japan. And in other words, it's a very easy way for beer restaurants, bars to serve craft beer. They don't have to spend a ton of money on a big system and lines and all that sort of thing. So Kirin will supply the machine and supply the beer as well. And their basic lineup is the three mainstay beers. One thing I don't care for is the fact a lot of craft brewers kind of jumped on the bandwagon with them. I don't suppose I can blame them, but still it's kind of disappointing to see these craft beer breweries who are partnering with Kirin. And in any case, let's move along, and we're going to look at 3 different beers from the Spring Valley line, and let's get going with the first one, shall we? Okay, and here we have a beer from the Spring Valley Brewery line, and this is the second one I'm reviewing in this short series here. It's called Spring Valley Silk Ale Shiro, and it's listed as a white ale. Shiro means white in Japanese. A white ale, 5.5%, and I don't know a lot about it except it does use Nelson Sauvin hops. The ingredients don't include any kind of like wit beer things like coriander, orange peel, anything like that. Nelson Sauvin should give it a kind of white winey sort of flavor and aroma, or white grapes. And the other notable thing about this is it won a bronze medal at the 2025 World Beer Cup in the American Wheat Ale category. So that's quite something, certainly. This is probably the most prestigious annual competition for beer in the world, and So this beer costs 284 yen where I bought it, and that would come out to $1.98 in U.S. dollar terms, and 1.75, €1.75. So a white ale. Okay, well. These days people are making all kinds of things. I had a golden stout not long ago. All right, let's try this one out. I don't think William Copeland made this kind of beer, but in any event. Okay, so it is rather light, almost pastel sort of yellow color. Let's put it through the light and see what we get. Okay, it is quite transparent. Carbonation not terribly, well, I guess it's some carbonation there. Yeah, and about half a finger of fluffy white foam. Okay, certainly Nelson Sauvin hops come out right away. Gives it an unusual note. It's more than just a kind of white wine sort of thing. Gives it a very soft sort of pillowy kind of note. Very fragrant. Interesting, nice. Yeah, white wine. I'm almost going to say something like barrel aged, but it's definitely the Nelson Sauvin hops that are making their presence felt here. Okay. Cheers. Okay. Thin. Kind of wheaty. Do they specify wheat here? Maybe they just say Bakuga malt, malt hops and corn. Okay, corn will maybe lighten it up a bit. I'm not sure exactly why they put corn in here. This is very mild, very thin. It flattens out very quickly. There's a light fruitiness in the beginning, something that might be wheat. Though they don't specify wheat. Yeah, but I think it is. And Nelson Sauvin hops definitely enter. Yeah, very, very light, even for this style, for this kind of white beer, white ale style. This is very light, very inoffensive kind of thing. It's not going to turn off a beer drinker with something unusual like spices. is what it is. It isn't what it isn't as well. Yeah. So yeah, I think they could have done a little better job with this. Give it a little bit more character. It comes off as kind of too mild, and I'm sure that's what they wanted, definitely, but it's not what I want. So, in any case, this is called Spring Valley Kirin Silk Ale Shido, white ale at 5.5% alcohol by volume. Do give it a go if you want. I probably won't buy this again. I try not to support the majors' crafty beer efforts too much, and I'll try them all one time at least, just for this, for the reviews. But other than that, no. I mean, they make enough anyway. Yeah. So that's it for today. I hope you're doing well. Please stay healthy. Leave me a comment. Let me know what you think about crafty beers, or if you've had these Kirin's Spring Valley lines, what you think of them. And stay healthy. Drink better beer. Bye-bye.